Hello friends, and welcome to my kitchen. First, place a saucepan on the stove and pour in enough water to cover the pasta. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and give it a quick stir. Once it's boiling, add 8 ounces or about 250 grams of pasta. Let it cook until it's just tender, or al dente. Next, take 1 whole head of broccoli and cut it into small florets. Friends, please write in the comments what country and city are you from. It's very nice to know that we can communicate all over the world. Place the florets in a large bowl. Now, pour in some boiling water over the broccoli. Let it sit in the hot water for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once the pasta is ready, drain the water, but keep a couple of tablespoons, just in case we need to thin out our sauce later. Place the drained pasta in a large mixing bowl. Then, add the softened broccoli to the pasta. Now, take 2 chicken fillets and cut them into small, bite-sized cubes, about 1 inch or 2, 3 centimeters each. Friends, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about new similar recipes. If you have any questions about the recipe, write to me and I will answer as soon as I see it in the comments. Heat a frying pan over medium heat and melt a bit of butter, just enough to lightly coat the pan. Once it's melted, add the chicken cubes. Friends, I'd be happy if you could give this video a like, as it's the best reward from you. Sprinkle with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Fry the chicken for about 5 minutes until it develops a nice golden brown crust. This browning adds great flavor. When the chicken is done, transfer it to the bowl with our pasta and broccoli. Next, take 1 onion and cut it into thin feather-like slices. a bit more butter to the same pan you used for the chicken. And once it melts, add the onion. Cook until the onion softens and turns golden. Now, cut 8 mushrooms into thin slices. Stir everything together and let the mushrooms cook alongside the onions for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once they're soft and fragrant, add them to the bowl with the pasta, chicken, and broccoli. Grate 3 cloves of garlic on a mini grater. In the same pan, add a touch more butter. Now we're ready to prepare our creamy sauce. Let the garlic cook for just a minute to release its aroma. Then pour in 2 cups, or 500 milliliters, of cream and bring it to a gentle boil. Grate about 3 ounces or 90 grams of Parmesan cheese. Once the cream begins to bubble, reduce the heat and add the cheese, stirring constantly. The cheese will melt, making the sauce thick and creamy. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and a touch of nutmeg, about 1 teaspoon. The nutmeg gives the sauce a warm, comforting depth. If the sauce seems too thick, just add a little of the pasta water. We set aside. Now let's put everything together. Pour the creamy sauce over our bowl of pasta, chicken, broccoli, onions, and mushrooms. Mix thoroughly so that each piece is coated in that delicious sauce. Now take a baking dish and grease it lightly with a bit of olive oil to prevent sticking. Spoon the pasta mixture into the dish, spreading it evenly. Take a small package of mozzarella and place the mozzarella rounds over the top of the casserole. Now we're ready to bake. Preheat your oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Place the dish in the oven and bake for 20 to 25 minutes. While it's baking, finely chop a bunch of fresh parsley. This will add a lovely pop of color and freshness to our finished dish. After 20 to 25 minutes, carefully remove the casserole from the oven. It should be golden, bubbly, and irresistible. Let it cool slightly, then cut out a piece and place it on a plate. Take a moment to appreciate the rich, creamy sauce, the tender chicken, and that hint of Parmesan. Sprinkle a bit of chopped parsley on top. Add a few cherry tomatoes for a pop of color if you like. And there it is, your creamy chicken and broccoli pasta bake, ready to enjoy. I hope this dish brings warmth and joy to your table, just as it does in my family. But that's not all. I have a second, equally delicious recipe for you. Take 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef and place it in a large bowl. Now break 2 eggs into the bowl. These will help bind everything together. Next, we'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika to give it that lovely flavor. Now, let's take 4 pieces of toast bread and cut off the crusts. Just the soft, white part is what we need. Tear the crumb into small pieces and place them in a separate bowl. Pour 1 cup or about 200 milliliters of milk over the bread. Use a fork to mash it until it's soft and well combined. And then add this mixture to the bowl with the ground beef. This will keep our meatloaf tender and juicy. Now, take 1 onion and grate it finely. add it to the beef mixture. Finely chop 1 bunch of fresh parsley. And also add it to the beef mixture. It's time to mix everything together. Using a gloved hand, gently mix all the ingredients until they are well combined, but not overworked. This ensures our meatloaf stays tender. Once mixed, set it aside for a moment. Now, let's prepare our potatoes. Take 5 potatoes and slice them into wedges. Friends, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about new similar recipes. Place them in a bowl. And add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Drizzle with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then grate 2 ounces, or 60 grams, of Parmesan cheese using a mini grater. Add grated cheese to the potatoes and mix everything thoroughly, ensuring each slice is coated with the seasoning. Set them aside for later. We're going to use a loaf pan today. Line it with parchment paper to prevent sticking and make it easier to lift out later. Take the ground beef mixture and press it into the baking pan along the edges, creating a well or hollow space in the center. Make sure you mixture aside, as we'll use it to form the lid later. Now, heat a frying pan and melt a small piece of butter, about a quarter stick or 30 grams. Once melted, grate 2 cloves of garlic using a mini grater. Add them to the pan. Let the garlic sizzle for a moment until it's fragrant. Next, take 5 ounces, or 150 grams of spinach. Chop it finely. Add it to the pan with the garlic. Sauté the spinach until it wilts. Then, finely chop 7 mushrooms. Add them to the pan. Cook everything together until the mushrooms are soft. Then remove the pan from the heat. Transfer the cooked vegetables to a bowl. Now, grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of cheddar cheese. Add it to the vegetables. Break 2 eggs into the bowl. Add a little salt. And black pepper. Mix everything together thoroughly. This filling is going to add a delicious creamy layer to our meatloaf. Spoon the filling into the well we created in the ground meat inside the baking pan. Spread it out evenly. And then take the remaining ground meat mixture and cover the top, sealing the filling inside. Press it gently to form a nice, even layer. Place the meatloaf roll in the oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and let it bake for 1 hour. While the meatloaf is baking, we'll work on the potatoes. Spoon them into a separate baking dish and place them in the oven as well. They need about 45 minutes to become beautifully golden and crispy. In a large bowl, add some salad greens of your choice. Chop 7 ounces or 200 grams of cherry tomatoes into quarters. And add them in. Then chop 1 cucumber. Add it to the salad. Next, chop 1 yellow bell pepper into bite-sized pieces. Also add it to the bowl. Finally, tear a piece of mozzarella cheese, about 4 ounces or 120 grams, into smaller chunks and mix it in. For a simple and tasty salad dressing, combine 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of mustard, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper. Whisk it all together. And drizzle over the salad. Toss everything together gently, and our salad is ready. After 1 hour, take the meatloaf out of the oven and let it rest for a few minutes. This helps the juices settle and makes it easier to cut. Once it's rested, carefully lift it out of the pan and cut it into thick slices. Now it's time to serve. Place 1 to 2 slices of meatloaf on a plate. Take the potatoes out of the oven as well. They should be golden, crispy, and full of flavor. Add a generous spoonful of those delicious golden potatoes. Finally, add a portion of our fresh salad on the side. And there you have it, a beautiful, hearty meal that's perfect for sharing with family or friends. This combination of savory meatloaf, crispy potatoes, and fresh salad is simply irresistible. Let's taste it together. The meat is juicy, the filling is creamy and flavorful, and the potatoes are just the perfect side. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. Thank you so much for joining me today, and don't forget to share this recipe with your loved ones. If you enjoyed this recipe, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how it turned out for you in the comments below. Until next time, happy cooking